Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Launch, favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasubs.com, discount code TDL for 35% off. All right. So we reviewed this terrible film. We're here for you guys. We're going to preview you guys the film. I haven't been posting too many clips on Twitter because I feel like I would just be bashing Minshew like crazy, and I really don't feel like doing that. You know, I'm being fair, but yeah, I'm being fair this week. But
hey, we got at least one more week. Of Minshew bashing.
I know, yeah, right. But I saved it for the show. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to do a Trey Tucker and DJ Glaze. Because I thought Glaze, he got 5 pressures on PFF. And I was like, damn, did those pressures happen on the last drive? And I wasn't paying attention. So I had to go back through the last drive. I'm sorry. At the end of that charting, man, it was that garbage time. I was like,
yeah.
I was copying and pasting. So I probably got to go back through that and try to make sure I get all that charting correct. But I'm going to do DJ Glaze and Trey Tucker. And Matt, you're just doing how the passing game just tore up Patrick Graham, if I'm correct.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I will say, like, Dave Canales, I don't know if he had, like, Connor Stallions up in the booth or what, but, like, for whatever play call he had seemed to be the great counter for whatever Patrick Graham was in. And to be honest, man, Canales outcoached Graham because, again, they had a lot of good calls where they were attacking the Raiders' coverage rules and stuff like that, and it seemed pretty clear like they knew what they were going to get and stuff like that. So it was a tough game. I mean, the film was about as bad as you'd imagine.
Yeah, on both sides, man. Yeah. So talk about the defense overall, what you saw in the film. Just from everybody. I know you're not doing the whole defense today. So what did you see for the defense itself?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think one of my biggest takeaways was Graham kind of got outcoached a little bit by Canales, who seemed to have an answer for everything they were doing. I mean, I will say to start out positively, I thought Adam Butler, he continues to kind of impress me as a run defender. He was another guy that kind of like popped up again on the tape. Wilkins had a few good reps too, but obviously not nearly as dominant enough. I think one of my biggest takeaways was this was the first game where I really felt like they missed Malcolm Koonce, who was obviously going to be out for the entire year. Like, Max Crosby wasn't himself. He got injured, I believe, in practice or something like that, leading up to the game. And then if you watch on the film, like, he very clearly did not have that same burst off the line, and that wasn't the same Max that we've come to know, like, play in and play out. You know, he still had his moments against the run where he kind of went crazy and just did his thing and made some plays. But as a pass rusher, like, I don't even know if he had a pressure. Like, I mean, he might have had 1 or 2, but it wasn't much of a factor. And then even when the Raiders got pressure, like, a lot of the times it was because of the Panthers screw ups. Like, on Spillane's sack, it was just a miscommunication up front. On the one where Wilkins and Snowden had combined for the sack, like, Snowden, the tight end, like, ran into they ran play action. The tight end, like, ran into the offensive tackle and picked him for him. And then on top of it, I think it was another miscommunication where, like, the guard just left the center out to dry or something like that, or tackle left the guard out to dry on Wilkins, where Wilkins was able to just get up the field and go after the quarterback. So even with that, and I think they only had like 9 pressures, like, the pass rush just wasn't there. Dalton was getting the ball out quick, which, again, you can kind of expect that. That's what we've seen from pretty much every team that the Raiders have faced so far this season, and just wasn't there. And then on top of it, coverage breaks in the secondary. Guys, honestly, in my opinion, getting complacent. Like, that was one of my biggest takeaways. Was, like, I obviously wasn't in in practice or anything like that, and wasn't in the meeting rooms. But I can tell you from my personal experience and haven't taken a loss like this and watching the film and seeing what it looks like to me like a team that was feeling themselves after a big win and kind of thought they had arrived when they hadn't. And to be honest with you, in the NFL and in the sport and in general, like, as soon as you get comfortable, as soon as you think you've made it, that's when you get beat. And that's exactly what happened. Like, it looked like a lot of guys that just weren't playing with the same fire that they have in the past. Like Robert Spillane's one that stuck out to me. Like we'll see a handful of plays with him, like just having basically zero awareness in coverage. And that's the second week in a row that teams have started to pick on him. But even against the run, like I think he got a decent run grade from PFF. I didn't think he played that well. He did make a couple tackles every now and again, but the Spillane that we've come to know, especially like in the last 2 years, just wasn't there. Like he seemed a lot more hesitant. I don't know if the Panthers were doing something that like he was giving like that was look different on film, that he was just like not using his instincts and not playing with his hair on fire and shooting the gap and meeting someone like Derrick Henry in the hole and make tackles. Like he just was a lot more hesitant. He actually missed a tackle in the hole, like in a similar rep to the one he had in Henry in week 2. So just an overall like off game. And to me, like I understand where AP was coming from, talking about guys making business decisions and acting like they are not giving their most effort, because that definitely showed up on film. And we'll see a few examples of that today. So.
Yeah, that's disappointing, and it kind of felt the way on offense too. But just the defense, they really mixed Max Crosby, they missed Malcolm Kuntz. Those guys are big factors, and then Christian Wilkins was hurt too, so he really didn't do a damn thing either. I feel like they got a lot of guys that are banged up already, which it really depended on that defensive line. Like going into the season, that was the whole thing. I mean, you got Wilkins, Kuntz, Crosby, and now it's like half Wilkins, half Crosby, no Kuntz. And that's going to play a big factor. And that's what we always thought about the secondary too. So, them not being ready to play. I mean, when they're not getting pressure, I mean, these aren't the greatest cover guys in the world. Let's keep it real. They're not these lockdown guys. They're guys who could take advantage of a team that gets a lot of pressure. And, that's what we're not seeing that right now. We're not seeing that pressure from this team. And since we're not seeing any pressure, I think Andy Dalton was under pressure like 4 times. That ain't gonna work. Especially in today's NFL, trying to make plays. So yeah, it just wasn't a good look on defense either. On offense, it was just it's hard to describe. It was just how bad it was. It was just really, really bad. They can't run the ball. I think it's a little bit of a mixture of Zamir White too, and them not using Zamir White that correctly. They try to use more duo this week. I'll give them that. But it still just didn't work. Just because they're not getting enough push either. They're not getting a lot of push. The only good guy who's playing really well is Dylan Parham, which I think is so interesting that they were taking him out. I don't know. They're saying that he was healthy. I don't know if that was about an injury. Jackson Powers-Johnson looked pretty good when he came in there. PFF gave him a run block grade that, he had one, like I could see like the play that they had, but he like recovered. So I thought it was an interesting run block grade. And he got a pressure too from PFF. That's what I'm saying. I was not paying attention at that last. I got to go back through my charting. I was not paying attention at the end of that game, man. I was just so done with it after Minshew threw that last interception that got him pulled. So yeah, which was a bad miss. Some people are trying to say that's miscommunication. No, it was 2 outs. All you got to do is watch Kobe Myers at the bottom. He's running out. It's 2 outs, double post. It's a known concept in the NFL. You get double post, 2 outs, like some Eric Coryell stuff. And, Bruce Arians used to run this like all the time. That same exact concept. You get 2 posts, 2 seams. Like, you've probably seen some tight end or some guy in Bruce Arians' system, or like Larry Fitzgerald run it. Those are the type of routes that are in Eric Coryell. And he just threw it too far inside and threw a pick. And then, there's just some egregious misses. Like Trey Tucker could have had 160 yards this game. I'm just going to say that. He could have 160. It could have been a breakout Trey Tucker game. Trey Tucker, he's getting these PFF things. There's all the things of him dropping the football. There's all these posts about him. That's where the game could have went, but it didn't go that way because Minshew just, for some reason, like he didn't. It's hard to describe. Like he would go see one guy and then he would like try to move. But then the Panthers, what they did, which they were really prepared for the Raiders too. Like the cover threes, their flat guys would go more outside than they usually were, more outside the numbers, because the Raiders like to run sticks. They like to run those quick outs. So these guys are out deeper outside the flats, right? They're doing things like that in their cover 3. They're mixing it up, probably playing a lot of the concepts that Getsy likes to use. So Getsy had to push the ball downfield because they were playing all the short stuff, right? They were playing the check downs. Like they would the curl flat player would go deeper, like towards the line of scrimmage to play the check down. So Minshew had nowhere to go with the football, and then they were slow rushing him, so he couldn't get out the pocket. It was just a recipe for disaster. So all that mixed in together. Them slow rushing, them playing the check downs, them the curl flat players playing more extended in their curl flat what's the word I'm looking for? Responsibilities. They're playing more outside the numbers. It was just a whole game plan by the Panthers that the Raiders just kind of got mollywopped by. In my opinion, they just got punched in the face because and this is game plan time. We're week 3. You have 2 games on film, and I was watching the Commanders play. And it reminded me of the Washington game from like 2017. That's how it reminded me of, like, a team that was just completely prepared for you. You're not fully prepared for them, like they're prepared for you to stop you. And it was just ugly. Yeah, it was ugly. Like, they were doing run blitzes. They had all the runs pointed out. Everything was just ugly, man. It was just ugly to watch. And that's what the Raiders have to bounce back on. They have to be like, okay, so teams are playing us this way. Because the Browns are going to do what the Panthers did.
Yeah.
Right? They're probably going to slow rush Minshew too. That was clearly on film. That's why you saw Minshew like trying to run at it. He couldn't go anywhere because they were like this. Nope, no, you ain't going. Nope. And there's nowhere for him to go. So that's why you saw that. I'm gonna show a little bit of that when I'm gonna break down DJ Glaze and do a little Jackson Powers Johnson a little bit too. But yeah, it was ugly, man. It was ugly all around. I just really no way to explain it. It was just bad offense. And you can get on Luke Getsy a little bit. I think you want to get more on him on the run game and when to make those run calls and maybe the looks they have. Maybe you can get on James Craig a little bit about that. But I think the passing game is fine. It's just, Minshew's just got to throw the ball, man. It is what it is. He's got to throw the damn football. And then I'm pretty sure after this game, if it's ugly this game, he's got one more game. We already talked about he had a 4-game stretch. This is game 4. This is the stretch, right? Yeah. And if he doesn't play well this week, he doesn't get them to 2-2, which he's got Myles Garrett and them boys coming. I know Myles Garrett's injured, but he's probably going to play. Yeah, they're in trouble. Because I don't know.
I know it is interesting that on both sides of the ball, it seemed like preparation was was a big part of the issue. Like it does seem like a total top-down failure for the Raiders that obviously they weren't ready to go, and like you said, like both said, the Panthers were ready to go, and the Panthers were ready for what they had going. Like, it was pretty clear that who wanted this game more and who wanted to win more. But
yeah,
you talk about Getsy, and I think one of my biggest frustrations, and I dove into the running game a little bit, specifically with Zamir White earlier today, is like I watched them play. I'm like, dude, long trap is like one of your best, most successful plays like this season. Like, they hit it for like 5 every time, and a few times they hit it for like 10, 15. I'm like, I don't understand how you can watch that and not go to a gap scheme. Like, counter was working for him too. I think that was his past game. I think one of their few successful runs was with off counter. So again, something's got to change, and I don't know if it's stubbornness by Getsy or what, or someone needs to take over. But that they desperately, especially with Zamir, need to switch things up and go to the gap scheme, because he looks like a completely different back when he gets his shoulders down and just hits the hole.
Yeah, I agree, man. They got to fix something with the run game. They got to go completely to power. And if you really, that's what I'm saying, if you got to run outside zone Madison, that's what you got to do. Or maybe give Madison some more carries, man. Like, Madison did have some good games last year with the Vikings, where he was breaking tackles and stuff. I think has a little more wiggle. So maybe you just give Madison some more carries. Maybe Zamir White's not working out. Because, there was some times in this game where in a power run scheme, because even sometimes when they run power, I think sometimes, you got to have some patience, and there might be an opening that you see that if you show patience and you trust the blocking in front of you, you're just not running full speed ahead, you can get some things done and maybe, make some blocks. And I've seen him do it. He did it against the Chiefs last year, the run that he ran to end the game. That's what he did. He set up a block and a power run and he bounced. And yeah. I think sometimes you got to make some plays that way as well. And I feel like he's not really trusting the offensive line either. And he's just kind of just running forward with his head down. And that's not working right now. So yeah, it was just ugly all around. I don't know how to explain it. I know people want to make excuses for Gardner Minshew and kind of ignore like some of the stuff that's happening here, and because people got agendas or whatever. They got their ASC versus Minshew agenda, which I think is a weird, pointless argument. But yeah, it's just it ain't gonna work if he plays like this. It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Yeah. So you could say, what do they got to do? He's got one game left. He's got one game left, because if it looks like that again on offense, he's probably getting pulled by halftime. Let's keep it real.
I mean, they already pulled him once. I mean, I know it was a game out of hand, but I think the fact that it was like AP said was non-committal on start making sure that Minshew was the starter, and then like 2 hours later it came out that Gardner Minshew is going to be the starter. But I think that tells you a lot that like they're at least considering it.
They thought about it.
They thought about it. Yeah.
Like, one more game. You got one more game, dog. That's basically what they told you. I'm non-committal. You got one more game, man. All right, so let's get to this film. All right, guys. So we're talking about Trey Tucker today. All right, so we do Trey Tucker. Tucker's up here at the top here. And this is the first big play of the game. So we're getting Mills, which I really like this play call. Mills first quarters is, this is what college football teams do all the time. So you're going to get this post route from Tucker, and then you're going to get this dig route, which could keep this safety from taking Tucker over the top. All right, so let this play run real quick. Get a quick little motion. All right, because you just get some basic sticks to this side. I mean, he could have threw the ball to Michael Mayer if he really wanted to. If he really wanted to go there, he could have. But I like how he didn't make that decision. But what you see here is this safety has to guard Myers, right? He can't let Myers come. Myers right in his area. I mean, Xavier Woods does a good job of spinning and trying to get back to the ball, but it's already over his head. So we'll talk about the route here from Tucker. See, what I like about this route too is that Tucker attacks Mike Jackson here, and then takes that post.
Great space.
It's a great route.
Nice route.
So let's rush one more time. Take that out. Boom. Love it. All right. So here he is again. This was the go route. They end up missing this one. Now, Brock Bowers gonna be wide open on this, and I know you're probably gonna say that. I think some people pointed this out, but what I want to talk about is his release. We talk about him versus press here. So here he is downhill at the bottom versus J.C. Horn, right? And he gets that inside release, right? And I mean, this is the right decision by Minshew. I think Minshew does a good job of getting this safety to turn his body, as you see right here. Get the safety to turn his body, and then throw it over the top to Tucker. Now, Tucker does a good job of getting back to the spot, like we saw in the preseason. Sometimes he doesn't get back to the spot quick enough. He saw it good here, but he just ends up missing his throw. But what you like from this
was wide ass open.
yeah, with a lot of space. Yeah, but I don't mind it.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't mind it because he does win here. He won. That is a win, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the better throw. Maybe J.C. Horn has long arms, gets his hand on that, but you still like it. All right, so here's Trey Tucker inside here. What I like about this one is you see what he can do in the slot a little bit, show more of his pure receiving skills here, like what he used to do in college. So, they're thinking about going to this out route here to Adams. They didn't like it. So he comes right here. And I like how he sits right here between the zone. So because I do believe he's supposed to keep going here through the drag, but he does a good job of sitting right there in the zone, making it available for his quarterback. Because usually on this type of concept, he's going to keep going across the field. But since they got the stop right there, does a good job finding that zone. Make a nice little play there. See a backside on this one. All right. Now, let's get to these misses here. Some of these misses. This one is the first egregious one. But you can see Tucker. I want to talk about his route running here, though, a little bit more than this Minshew miss. But what you see here, because we're going to talk about this later, is with Tucker, it's just that he's still a little stiff coming out of his breaks because he does a good job. You see his head, his eyes is forward. He has JC Horn in full bail mode, right? JC Horn is bailing. He does a good job of stopping here. Right? I mean, but you still see just a lot of steps before he's coming back to the football. But you just notice how wide open he is. And look what Gardner Minshew is doing. I don't just look at this. Just look at that for a second.
Yeah.
and then like he stumbles and doesn't get the first down.
But I mean, if you look at Jacoby Myers too, he's wide open.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers is wide open. Yeah, he is. Boop, right there. He's wide open. He's wide open on the seam because the safety's too extended. But Trey Tucker, but his eyes are already dropping. And I'm gonna show this. I'll show you why on the online DTJ Glaze. But dude, just like step up and just throw it to Tucker. I don't even know how Tucker is just running for a little bit. He's pretty damn fast. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, he catches the ball. He's coming this way. And they don't get a first down here. I mean, this is 21-7. That's what I was talking about. He should have had 160 yards in this game. He should have had 160, in my opinion. All right, so we're going to talk about on the comeback route again here. All right, now you see he wants Adams. Adams is covered up here. I mean, he probably should have threw to Myers. Myers is open right there. He's looking right at him. He probably should do that. That's a different story. We're talking about Trey Tucker here. And this is what happens here when Trey Tucker takes too many steps. So you're going to see right here, too many steps, boom. See all the steps and how long it takes him to get out of his break. He's still a little stiff on some of these routes. And I think that's just going to be him for his whole career. I think he does a great job coming back to this football, though. And, of course, probably the velocity in the pass allows Mike Jackson. And Minshew's just late getting there because it's backside and kind of double clutched, right? Because this ball's not out yet and he's already turned around.
Yeah.
So he's a little late there, too, but it's also the route. The route's not very clean. It's a lot of steps here. So I mean, this is going to be him his whole career, obviously. I mean, I'm sure he's worked on this. He's tried his hardest. But this is just Trey Tucker. He's just a little stiff. And it ends up not, being an incompletion. But he should have this ball to Myers. Myers just, boom, bam, throw it to him. That's fine. That's fine. It's all right, I guess. I don't know. All right. They didn't get him on these little screen routes here, which they try to do here. You get some good blocking from Miller out here, and Michael Mayer gives him some room. And that's what's about some of the stiffness, though. You're not going to see him break a lot of tackles, so we'll see it from the backside here. All right, because you think maybe he can, he tries to run past this guy. Maybe he could break that tackle. It's a big play, right? Maybe if he's more of a give me the ball in his hands, not just a pure speed guy, because that's basically how all this play was. That's why he got 11 is because of speed instead of just being elusive, right? Maybe he can set this guy up, juke him a little bit or something. But that's Trey Tucker, man. It is what it is. All right, guys, now brace yourselves, okay? Brace yourselves for this one. Now, I'm going to break down this whole play. I'm not going to break down Trey Tucker. So the original read on this play is you're getting like what they call 9-8-9 kind of, but you're kind of it's going to be like an out and up from both of these wide receivers. And you're going to get Trey Tucker. He's going to be right here in the middle, okay, doing a hitch route. All right. So, first of all, you see where Adams is, right? Because he tries to set it up with the safety. Adams is wide open. Boom. Adams is open. He's wide open. Adams is that you throw the ball. The safety it's physics. The safety has to turn, and he's at a bad angle. But I mean, if you're not going to throw it to him, look at Trey Tucker right here. He's just
nobody within 10 yards of him.
There's nobody within 10 yards. Nobody within 10 yards. This guy's backing up.
47's covering the grass. He's got that 42 yard or that 37-yard line on lock.
was like, oh, oh man. We got 22 out of them. We got like look like come back and get the block. There you go, Trey. Be a good teammate here. But this is what I'm talking about. Like 180 yards. Just think of the last play and this one. We are at 100 already. We're at 100 yards already.
The fact he missed 2 reads and they still got a huge gain out of this is amazing.
It's 33-7 to be fair.
Oh yeah,
But
okay.
yeah, it's 33-7. And then kind of showed this route doing a little slant flat at the end of the game. They're just trying to get some completions here. But I think he does a good job of not trying to go over this curl flat player and go under him. So he sees that where he's coming and he understands the leverage here. He just goes under him, which gives ALC a good window here in cover 3. Because I'm not saying that not every guy is going to try to go perfectly under him. They might even try to go around him. I think that's a good job by him to see that, go under that curl flat player and make the play. So yeah, I mean Trey Tucker, he had I thought he had the touchdown at the end of ALC, but I thought there's just some opportunities where he could have got the ball. He could have had a huge game. But let's get to these offensive line. I mean, the offensive line is what people like to talk about. Let's talk about this. Let's watch this. So we're watching DJ Glaze here. Focus on DJ Glaze. I thought he had a pretty good performance. In the run game, he's a little iffy still, though. We're going to see some of this. All right, so let's watch this first block here. So what you're going to notice is just a little bit of the high pad level. You see he's just really high. His hands aren't that bad. It's just he's standing straight up, right? He doesn't have a lot of leverage here. So even though he has some good hand placement, he's not getting any push because how high he is. You see how high? The guy's still way lower than him. So we're not getting any push because if he got more push here, this might be a bigger run from Zamir White. But since he's not getting any push, this guy still has full control. He just sheds him, makes that tackle, and just keeps it to 3 yards there. So, I mean, this could be a theme of high pad level in the run game. He's just too high, way too high. So you can't get any push, even though he got he has pretty good get off, which I'll show here. He has pretty good get off. He does. He has good get off the ball. It's just when you're that high at pad level, it doesn't matter. And the other guy's lower than you. I mean, that's the name of the game. Name of the game. All right, so here's another run block. So here's some little outside zone here. Now this one was interesting to me because he has a pretty good block here. Now I feel like he's trying to help James and keep this block, but I feel like at some point you got to get two hands on this guy. And maybe I'm wrong here. You let me know, Matt.
I mean, I see what he's trying to do. He's trying to, like you said, help out James a little bit, and I think he's like it's like a hump move basically, but for an offensive lineman. Like if Zamir does cut it back, he's got like decent leverage. But yeah, I mean, if he gets two hands on, probably better.
Yeah, but it's still not a bad block though. It's not a bad block. He's still getting some push, and it helps Zamir White find that cutback. I mean, Zamir White finds it very late. He found it though. He got there, but even though, I mean, to me on this, like, see this guy, he kind of sees it late because James is getting across his face. But when he gets there, it gets 6. It's probably one of the best runs of the day there.
Rep, dude. I'm sorry. Even that rep, like watching Zamir White try and cut.
Like there's
no jump cut at all. Laterally. No.
They're gonna keep trying though. So on this play, I showed this one on Twitter, but just watch Jewel. And just keep quick sneak right there. Oh, I know where this play's going. Right, and so here, let's talk about Glaze. He's still a little, like I said, he has good get off, but he's high. He's high again, right? High, so he doesn't get a lot of push. He's not getting any push really. But this play was blown up as soon as Josie Jules saw, okay, Zamir White's right here. They're probably doing a toss that they've done before, and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna go read it right there. There's no shot.
I'm also very go ahead.
So maybe Zamir White could go ahead. My bad. Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, I'm also very confused at what the blocking scheme is here because they run a toss, But like if you watch the O-line, they block it like it's inside zone.
And they do inside zone tosses too. They do.
Yeah.
Right. So you're right about that. Because I mean, it's a good block from Browers. So to me, also, I wish Samir White tried to outrun this guy. Like he tries to like take him on. He's faster than him. Maybe get lateral, try to outrun him, get outside of him, stiff arm him or something. Because he's faster than Josie Jewell. Even though Josie Jewell beats him here, and maybe you could say maybe the leverage, but I just feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm just nitpicking and being upset about this game, but I don't know. I feel like I just maybe just like at some point you got to make a guy miss. You know what I mean? At some point, but it's not all on him on this play. But you see like DJ Glaze getting thrown over a little bit because the high pad level he's getting tossed. Well, also watch JPJ. This is why JPJ needs to play more because watch him on Shaq Thompson. He gets a second level. He just pushes Shaq Thompson to the 35, and then Shaq Thompson goes to the ground. But I mean, you're already at the 30. Shaq you're nowhere near the damn play. So that's just a little what Jackson. That's just a little preview of Jackson Powers Johnson as in this run game right there. That's just a little preview. Blocking a guy 10 yards downfield. All right, here we go. This is a 3rd and 7, which I couldn't believe they did this, but on this one, you see kind of he, tries to get out on Jadeveon Clowney, but he's just kind of slow getting out there a little bit, and then Clowney kind of just rips inside. But you see a good block from JPJ here. JPJ has a really good block. You kind of see the difference between those two. Right, JPJ has a little bit of high pad level there, but he still has a good base there. Still able to get pushed. He's a stronger guy. But Cody Whitehair just gets his butt kicked here. He just gets tossed. Which is basically this whole run game. It's just one guy every single time loses, and that's the whole run game because we got good blocks from Redway, got good block from James, good block from Miller, but Cody Whitehair gets tossed, blown up play. That's against a damn light box, you know what I mean? It's not against a big box. So here's another one. I think this is probably one of Glaze's better blocks here. And you see why, because he has a lower pad level, but he's still kind of high here. I know he's a taller guy, but you see his pad level is a little bit better on this one. But this play gets blown up mostly because, Jacoby Myers is blocking a defensive end, and that's just not going to work all the time. And then, this is a counter.
Yeah.
And it's just not working. Ain't nothing here.
Trey Tucker needs to block Shaq Thompson.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. That's what I was going to point out this play. Trey Tucker doesn't block anybody. What is he doing here? That's why this play got blown up. Like you could even see him. Like where is he looking at? Like what was this? I thought he had LASIX.
I think he did the math in his head and realized 165 versus 230 is not. It's not in his favor. I don't know what Trey Tucker actually is, but I kind of like Shaq Thompson to win that.
I mean, but
as a business decision.
At least try to get his way. God damn. That's what I'm saying. When these guys drunk, when they go out on Saturday night, like I had a lot of questions watching this film. All right. So, and this is probably one of his better blocks too. You see him get a lot of push here. Still high pad level. But he has a great get off. He has a great get off the line. And when you have a good get off and you're not, facing D tackles all the time like he has been during this film, you see the push that he gets here. He helps get that touchdown. Also, Dylan Parham is a stud. I don't know how else to explain that. I just want to say that. Point that out there. All right, let's get into some pass protection here. Hey, Rich for Jay. This is another one play. No, we got one more run. So this one was interesting because he kind of just like runs into, right? And this is your long trap here. It didn't work. It didn't work this game here, Matt. When Cody Whitehair is doing the long trap, it didn't work.
So let me be clear. They're better with long trap when Dylan Parham is the puller. I should elaborate. And that's also a great play by Jadeveon Clowney. He knew it was coming because
Yeah,
like they do that all the time with the arc relief, like the fake block by Bowers. And
mm-hmm.
as soon as he saw that, he just knew to just get his hands on him and right inside.
Yep. Long trap, here it comes, and that's kind of the thing. The run game is just so is low key predictable right now. They got to switch it up.
Yeah,
they got to switch it up. But DJ Glaze kind of just runs into Parham here and just kind of pushes Parham and then tries to get the second level there. So they're just all discombobulated, to be honest, a little bit. All right, so let's get into some pass protection here. DJ Glaze, this is his first rep. Now here, I think he lets this guy get inside him, and which is going to make him pay later on in the game, especially on the sack he gives up to AOC. You see here, he does a good job. He shows his power. He does a good job of getting an anchor here, which gives Minshew plenty of time to get this pass off to Tucker. So watch one more time here. Yes, the good off is good. I mean, he gets to the set well. I mean, he's there. He just embraces for contact against the power rush, and you're like, if that's Myles Garrett, he's getting drove into Minshew. Like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah,
and you saw that later on with Clowney. It's not gonna work all the time. You're gonna get blown up if you just allow that guy in your chest like that. All right, so here's another rep. Like I said, now he gets a little help this time. But I just love his get off. You see how quick he gets off the ball. I really like that. He's quick off the ball. He's quick into his set. And this time I think he does a good job of just pushing Clowney around. Clowney tries to give him a little rip, a little chop move here. Try to chop at his hands. He does a good job of just pushing him around, which allows Minshew to get out of the pocket here. This is one of my favorite reps is because he goes right for that chop. Does a good job of resetting his hands afterwards. Put this little ring around the rosy. I wish Minshew threw the Brock Bowers on that play. I do. He was like, just throw it up to him. All right, so this is what I'm talking about with the, you can't do the whole let me into your chest thing with Clowney here. Because you see, he just lets him into his chest. Clowney just pushes it right into him like that. I mean, he gets this pass off. Minshew does. We kind of could see it right there. Boom. That's a loss, right?
I do appreciate the fake punch, but it doesn't work when the guy is bull rushing.
No, it doesn't, right? Especially when they probably see that you're leaving your chest open like that all game. Yeah. Like I'm saying, that's not going to work against. I mean, I don't know who's the other guy for the Browns. Is it Darius Smith?
Yeah,
that ain't gonna work. All right, so you see here, they did a really good job picking up stunts this game. That was super interesting, which has always been a problem since I've been watching like the past couple of years. I really like how he did here. I mean, the hand placement, the hug thing doesn't make me that excited, but I like how him and Parham work together here. I like how he saw the stunt. You can see his eyes are going, picks it up, push that guy out. Of course, Minshew still gets sacked here somehow. I mean, because this is the only rep. This is the only rep Miller lost. People talk about Miller struggle. This is the only rep he lost all game. And that ball should have been out. It should have been Brock Bowers wide open right here. You can see at the top of your screen. He's wide open. And they do a good job pick up the stunt on the other side. Right? And Minshew kind of stumbles here. And takes a sack. All right, here's another one. Like I said, he does a good job of getting this set here. But he keeps letting these guys into his chest. And he's able to reset here against a weaker guy. You see, he has a good anchor here. And, Minshew has plenty of time here. I mean, there's really Parham has a good block. Miller has a good block. But you kind of see how they're slow rushing him. They're not letting him out of the pocket. You kind of see what they're doing here. Yeah. Right. And that's why they're doing a lot of bull rushing. Right. They're not trying to do a lot of moves. You see, they're bull rushing every single time. And that's a slow rush. They're trying to slow rush Minshew. They're trying to, you're not getting out of this pocket. And then Minshew already has his eyes down. He could have been throwing this ball to Tucker. I could just, or somebody, I don't know. Somebody's open on this play. I don't know what happened. Somebody's open. Well, that's a sack, right? And then this is the play to Tucker right here, which you see this one kind of started a little late here, but to me, it's always an interesting play because he throws Clowney to the ground here. Clowney tosses him to the ground, but like Minshew is already like getting out of the pocket for some reason. Because if he stays in the pocket, I mean, this is clean. Because look where Clowney lands. Clowney doesn't land like near the pocket, whereas Minshew was already leaving. So it looks like a juke move, and then he's already panicked. His eyes are down. This is the play with Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker's just sitting here wide open, guys. Right here. He's up here somewhere, wide open, and he's kind of just running around. He just like his eyes are. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying, when you get this type of play from your lineman, right? I mean, you get a guy to the ground. I mean, that's an exciting moment for Glaze. Hey, I just knocked Dayon Clowney on the ground.
Yeah.
It's your quarterback.
At that point, there's no more pressure. Like there's no more need to do all the scrambling. You can step up. You got a nice pocket.
And just
right now,
reset your feet. Reset your feet. Reset your feet. And he just totally panicked. And then he doesn't even get the first down.
He tripped and tackled himself.
Yeah, basically. All right. So here's another rep. So see on this one, you see a better rep here from him, but he is allowing these guys in his chest a lot, you know, and he definitely has to work on that. But you see here the anchor, he's just so strong, right? So he's able to anchor here, reset. Like, good job resetting his hands here too. Get his hands back inside. He's able to anchor, hold Clowney, give Minshew plenty of time in this pocket to hit Brock Bowers right there for the first down. And of course, just one more. Now I put this one in here just because JPJ just tosses this guy. He just does a great job of picking up this stunt too. Boo, JPJ just stonewalls that guy. That guy's not going anywhere. But DJ Glaze does a great job here against Clowney too.
Yeah.
All right. Great job. Just reset the hands, get the hands back inside, give kind of plenty of time here. So yeah, man. I mean, I thought that was a pretty good game. I mean, I went too long there. I'm sorry, guys, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of the film there for Glaze and Tucker. I thought Tucker played pretty well. I thought Glaze played all right. I thought he wasn't awful. I thought JPJ looked really good though. And you saw from the couple of reps that I showed of JPJ, he looked pretty damn good out there. So, I think the offensive line can get better. I think Mumford still might be the better option still, but I don't know how much you don't feel bad when Glaze is out there, right? You don't feel like he can't get it done. He's not going to get destroyed. And also, I don't know how much teams are going to copy that game plan of just bull rushing to keep Minshew in the pocket too.
Yeah. I mean, it is encouraging for a guy that I believe that was his first time he's taken offensive snaps, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, coming off the bench too, like that was encouraging film going up against a guy like Clowney who's been around for a while. Like you said, pretty good bull rusher. That's no easy task. So definitely encouraging to tape that at the very least.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, let's get into this defensive film. It's like 20 minutes.
I'll keep it kind of brief. All right, so like I said, I'm going to start with a little bit of how Dave Canales was taking advantage of Patrick Graham here. I mean, one of the first things that kind of stands out about this play is they got the ball in the far hash here, or the right hash here, and then they put their two receivers, they split them out super wide with both receivers outside of the numbers, and then the tight end attached to the formation. This is kind of like a college offensive formation a little bit. Like you don't see this in the NFL a ton. And that's going to become significant because the Raiders are going to run a fire zone here. And I want to highlight, I know I have Spillane here highlighted, but Trevon Merrick's almost more important for this play. So watch what that does to Trevon Merrick, because this is what I'm talking about where they're attacking their coverage rules. So like I said, fire zone. On top of that, as a side note, the Panthers have a 6-man protection, so it's perfect play call for that. And no one's winning pass rush wise. So again, another example of Canales styling up some good stuff against what Patrick Graham had to do, or what Patrick Graham was doing to bring some heat. But then on the back end, going back to Trevon Merrick. So the reason why those splits are significant, that formation is significant, is in a fire zone, you're reading the routes of the receivers, right? So with Hobbs being the first deep receiver, he takes the first deep threat, and then Merrick's going to take the second deep threat. So the issue is they run a little smoke screen here with Deontay Johnson. So that's technically, I believe that's Charles Snowden's guy. And Merrick's got to read 2 to 3. So he's going to read the number 2 here that's running the go route, and he has number 2 vertical, or the final vertical. And at that point, like, he's got his eyes, like, he's doing his assignment, like, he knows who he's got to pick up. But he all of a sudden has to go from the top of the numbers to the hash to go pick up this seam route, which, again, great play call by Canales, attacking the coverage rules, where he doesn't have enough time because of all this space that was created to go over and make that play. And then on top of it, Andy Dalton sees that, makes a hell of a throw to get it over Splane's head and drop it in the bucket for a big first down. Now, what I will say, and why I do have Splane highlighted, this is not his worst rep by any means. We'll see some worse ones here in a second. But I would like to see him do a little bit more than just play patty cake and put my right hand out to disrupt the timing of this route. Like, if he just kind of sits at 5 yards, like he in this fire zone, he's just responsible for anything short, and they don't get any action going that way. So if he's a little bit more physical and then gets both hands on the tight end, maybe disrupts the timing of this route, that could give Merrick more time to go over there and get there. Maybe Dalton comes off of it, or 3, maybe even someone starts to win as a pass rusher. But he doesn't. And then this is part of what I'm talking about with Spillane not playing as physical as we are and just not having the awareness in zone and coverage. Like, it ends up just going right over his head. And I mean, again, I think that's Tommy Treble 82. The tight end just unimpeded into the spot. And with Merrick having to play that far wide, he's never going to get there. Good play call. Again, would like to see a little more physicality here from Spillane. We'll get a view of it from the end zone here. See how just good of a ball this was, because like I talked about in the preview, Andy Dalton's still a decent quarterback, and he was cooking. Like, that was perfect.
Yeah, that's a great throw.
That is a great throw. Again, that one I'm not too mad about because, again, you kind of got to tip your cap. Good play call. Just a few minor things that they can do. Now this one, again, another good play call from Canales. Raiders are going to be in cover 3. Oh, also, it's 3rd and forever. It's like 3rd and 14. So good play call from Canales here. We're going to watch Corey Bennett here for a second, and then we'll get to Epps. But what they're going to give him is a little backside dig. Again, 3rd and long in cover 3. So Jacory Bennett's primary responsibility is, hey, I'm not going to get beat. I don't have safety help over the top. And they give him a little dig, which, anything about cover 3 beaters, backside digs are killers. The problem is, and this is where I get to Epps, is Marcus Epps, at first, his eyes are on Thielen, the slot receiver, who's Thielen's running like an over route or a seam route, and he knows he can pass that off. But Epps then on top of it, instead of sinking and continuing to stay deep, especially, again, remind you, it's like 3rd and 14 right now, he ends up taking the cheese and like hopping forward to go take care of this check down route. And if you watch, that's exactly what Andy Dalton's looking for. And I mean, by the time Marcus Epps is taking that step down, we can see Dalton's already thrown the ball and he's hitting that backside dig. And he's not helping out Jacory Bennett at all. Again, because Jacory Bennett's trying to avoid getting beat deep, especially in this situation. And we got one guy taking the cheese for some reason, wanting to cover the check down on 3rd and 14 instead of trying to rally and tackle. So good play call. Also, just bad assignment football and terrible situation awareness from Epps, who again did not have a good game, and we'll see him again later.
That's awful.
Yeah. This one, let's see a similar rep. This time the Raiders are in man. They're playing cover 1. Another dig route here from Jacory Bennett. This was honestly a little bit more of a better play call. You can see, again, around a little play action here. Now, my issue with Spillane here is I'm not exactly sure what his assignment is, but I feel decently confident that he's responsible for the back. But if you watch him, he ends up following the tight end who's working like the split zone action on the play fake. And the reason why I say that I'm pretty sure Spillane, there's 2 reasons why I think Spillane should have the back, is if you watch Amari Gaynor here, who's playing some edge towards the end of the game, partially because they're thin there, like Gaynor's going to run, kind of hesitate for a second, And to me, that tells me that Gainer has, it's called the peel here. So if 82 were to run out on a route, Gainer would pick him up anyway. But instead, Spillane's following him. And I mean, if Andy Dalton wanted to, he could throw to Chuba Hubbard, and that might be 6. Especially with how the Raiders secondary has been tackling lately. But then on top of it, so you see him widen. You see Spillane widen. Doesn't get any depth. So again, when Bennett has to cover this dig, now again, for the second time in a row, the window just got tight. The window just got bigger because no one's helping from the underneath. He gets no help from the underneath coverage. Maybe Spillane's supposed to be on the running back anyway. But either way, I'm not exactly thrilled with this rep from Robert. So, and then on top of it, Jacorian Bennett, this.
It's a great throw, though. Timing, anticipation. God damn, Andy Dalton, relax.
Again, yeah, and again, watch. Spillane takes that side step to the side. When's Andy Dalton running back to throw it? As soon as he sees it. Yeah, great throw. And then on top of it, Jacorian Bennett. What are we doing?
Cooking the Raiders. Good Lord. All right.
Yeah. Jack Jones makes the tackle. So, yeah. Another good play call and a little bit of a lack of awareness. Now, this one was when I was like legit like, okay, does Canales have some sort of Connor Stallions or something that tells them what the Raiders are doing? Because the Raiders are going to run 2-man here. And if you've noticed, especially with a lot of these breakdowns, when the Raiders run man coverage, they don't run a lot of 2-man. Patrick Graham doesn't call a lot of 2-man. What he calls more is cover 1. But with this play call specifically, like they're going to attack the middle of the field. And the reason why I bring that up is because if you watch Spillane, and he's right here, he's fine on this one. The biggest difference between cover 1 and 2-man is you obviously have 2 safeties that are deep, and then you don't have the low hole player to take or help him in the middle of the field and help take away slants. That's why Robert Spillane's guarding the running back. So look at all the space that's now created in the middle. And then on top of it, Nate Hobbs, I don't know what you're doing, but this isn't it. He starts with inside leverage, then bites here at the outside release. That's honestly, there's not much of a reason to bite on from Deontay Johnson. Gets caught on his heels, looks like here too. I mean, tries to get hands on, but obviously it doesn't work. And it's off to the races. Like Nate Hobbs was not a good game for him. Pretty ugly for him, to be honest with you. And then Marcus Epps.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. 7th missed tackle of the year.
I mean, he tore his ACL, so he's out.
Yeah, and he tore it trying to make a tackle. And I'm not going to try and be that tick, but
Is this
I'm surprised he didn't do it on this one.
I was about to say.
Maybe this one weakened that because that hurt my knees. But yeah. Now, on top of it, too, I know some people, like when I posted this on Twitter, I put business decisions were made. And some people want to argue with that with me. And the guys I'm talking about right now are Jacorian Bennett and Trevon Merrick. So at this point, right, Deontay Johnson's cutting back. Now, I kind of get it a little bit from Trevon Merrick. Like, he doesn't want to get beat. But at the same time, why are you just stopping and letting Adam Thielen block you? And then Jacorian Bennett, too, like, he kind of does the same thing where, like, he gets here, he's stopped. Like, that is way too much space. Like, close this gap, be physical, close the gap on this guy, be physical, and go make this tackle. And on top of it, he doesn't make the tackle either. Like, this, like, if you want to argue with me about the effort or whatever and say these are bad angles, I will agree that these are bad angles. But, like, for me, like, is this the best effort I can get from you two? Like, is this the effort that Trevon Merrick, is this the effort that Trevon Merrick wants to give when he's fighting for a contract, or Jacorian Bennett where you're fighting to prove that you're a starter? Like, that's what we get. And I mean, sure, this isn't the worst example of a business decision, but to me, like, this is not good enough. Like, let's be physical. Let's play the brand of football that AP talks about and not just be soft, to be honest. Sorry, that one pissed me off a little bit.
Yeah, I could see why. Keep going.
Right. Going back to Canales cooking up the Raiders in the coverage rules. This time the Raiders are going to run cover 4, and they're doing it out of an empty formation. So with that, part of what that does is that means Trevon Merrick can't cheat to the three receiver shot. Trevon Merrick can't cheat to the three receiver side of the formation, right? Because he's got a threat to go vertical here in quarters. And on top of it, too, down here at the bottom of the screen, they have Jack Jones, who's reading number 1 to number 2. So number 1 is going to run flat. So then he's got to take his eyes to number 2. Jones is late to see it. And again, got to kind of question the effort here at this point from Jack Jones, because once he knows that Thielen is running deep, like, you got to stay on top of him. He just kind of stops. And then Thielen ends up beating him deep, who, I'm sorry, but Adam Thielen should not be beating you deep. 34-year-old Adam Thielen, who tears his hamstring on this play, beats him deep. And the other part of it, too, is, again, this is goes back to Trevon Merrick not being able to cheat on the other side. Like, you're going to see Marcus Epps, who he's reading number 3 here, and number 3 runs the seam route. Maybe if Trevon Merrick is over here closer to the hash, Epps can pass him off and then help out on Adam Thielen. But again, good play call from Dave Canales, testing their coverage rules, forcing Merrick to stay wide, and on top of it, forcing Epps to stay close to the hash. And again, look where Andy Dalton throws that. Once he sees Epps is still on the hash, lets it rip, and a nice ball. And again, Jack Jones, please, for the love of God, do not get beat deep by 34-year-old wide receivers who aren't fast in the first place.
He's undrafted for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. The undrafted D3 guy. Undrafted D3 white receiver. All right, which one we got? Oh, God. This is part of what I'm talking about with Spillane. Like, the Raiders are in a double A gap look. They run cover 0 out of it, basically, right? Or no, cover 1, out of it. And Spillane, like, when you're dropping like this, as soon as you drop, your eye should be going out to the 3 receiver side of the formation, or your side of the formation. Why? Because you want to see if a crossing route is coming to your side so that you can help it out, especially with Trevon Merrick playing off coverage in this situation. But Spillane, if you watch his eyes, never even moves off of Andy Dalton. And then on top of it, what bugged me is he runs into Xavier Legette here. Like, Xavier Legette bumps him on the way there, and he still doesn't look at him. And then to make matters worse, like, I don't know if this is probably more just a bad visual, but he just watched that ball go right by his ear and complete it. Like, what are we doing? 1, have the awareness to pick this guy up and help out your teammate. And 2, I mean, at least Luke Masterson, he's not going to make a play on the ball, but at least he's laying out and giving me the effort and not looking like he's got the best seat in the house to watch this game.
How did he not pick that?
We'll see it from the end zone view. Masterson wasn't that close.
No, I'm talking about Spillane. I don't know how Spillane didn't pick that.
Well, he didn't pick it because he never saw him, even though he felt him. And then on top of it, too, like, if we back this up, watch Trevon Merrick. Like, what?
What was
you want to talk about business decisions? What are you doing?
Lord, what is this effort?
This business decision might cost you money.
The offense was bad. What am I watching here, Matt? This is gross. What is this?
Oh, yeah, this is all game. This is most of the game.
This
like,
is disgusting.
He stops.
I mean, what are they doing?
He stopped mid-play. Everyone paying all that money to watch the game. Spillane and Trevon Merrick had the best seats in the house on this play. We'll see the end zone view again. Locked on Dalton, runs into him.
These guys went to Floyd Mayweather's club the night before. That's the only way I can explain this. This is what it looks like.
Do something, man. Don't just watch it happen. Like, I will say Marcus Epps, like, he missed tackles and whatnot, but, like, even on the last one, too, he's at least going balls to the wall. I can live with that. Mm-hmm. I can't live with what I'm getting from Trevon Merrick and some of these other guys. All right, moving on a little bit to more of my notes, the WTF plays. Like we're going to see this one. Andy Dalton makes a nice read here. They want to hit the backside dig, but then he's going to see, I believe that is that Masterson, whoever that is, drop into the coverage. So then he comes off the dig and then just ends up hitting Chuba Hubbard on the swing route. But what I want you guys to watch is watch Nate Hobbs here. I'm going to back it up so we get the circle on him. Is watch Nate Hobbs here in the slot. The Raiders are looking like, if I remember correctly, they're going to drop into cover 3 on this one. And Hobbs is just going to stop working for width. Like he doesn't originally, right? Did it originally when he saw Chuba Hubbard like working to the flat. And then for whatever reason, he just starts working backwards and playing in no man's man. Guarding grass here. And what do you know? They throw it to the flat. Hobbs has no chance to get to him at that stage. And it's 6.
Lord.
Like I don't know what to say other than this is cover 3. This is basic. I don't know what you're doing. This rep, I'm going to tip my cap to Andy Dalton here. You're going to see Deontay Johnson run a short drag route here. Now, Jack Jones loses by a step, but this was a hell of a play from Andy Dalton. 1, Tyree Wilson gets some pressure here. Shout out Tyree. Actually had a decent game, I thought, for what he had to do. I mean, you see Tyree Wilson get some pressure. Dalton feels it, buys some time for a little bit. And then on top of it, too, like if you watch Dalton's eyes, like Marcus Epps is kind of putting a bind here. Maybe you say you wish he would have seen Jack Jones was getting beaten and would have helped him out. But again, with Dalton kind of looking him off, like Dalton's holding him in the middle of the field, immediately takes his eyes and just delivers a dime on the run.
Good Lord.
This is a hell of a throw. Andy Dalton be getting $60 million if he did this more often. The other part that ended up screwing over the Raiders, especially late in the game and in the second half, was the screen game. Now, this one, I do have to commend Corey Bennett's effort here, but the awareness is missing. Like, he reads the screen, he crashes hard, but, buddy, remember that guy you were lined up in front of? Yeah. And the other part of this, too, is, and I will cut him a little bit of slack, the Raiders run cover 0 here, so he has inside leverage. Mm-hmm. But when you're the wide corner, like, and you see screen, like, I appreciate and I commend you for wanting to go attack this guy and wanting to go blow this up. But you're also the outside contained player where I need you outside here, where if you get crack blocked and then put in the ground and then blocked into Nate Hobbs, now they get an easy first down. So, again, the effort's better here from Ja'Cory Bennett, but the awareness is not. End up getting the first down. They backed up in their own end here. Like this is already a hell of a drive from the Panthers' perspective. Play we got here. Oh, I think this one we already saw. Yeah, that's a mistake by me.
You're good. There you go.
All right, one more screen here. And with this one, yeah, Robert Spillane. Run the tape, dude. Play action fake. First of all, we go straight to the guard's chest like a refrigerator magnet instead of playing outside. Again, he's going to be responsible for Chuba Hubbard here. And on top of it, we can't get off the block. And then once the other guard comes over, yeah, this is what I'm talking about from Spillane. Not his best evening or afternoon. Getting put in the ground. Yeah, I don't have many words for this one except for ouch and yikes. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The other rep that I meant to show there that I obviously screwed up on the compiling the video again was like Tommy Eichenberg. Like they ran a screen and that was actually a pretty good play call where like, or not a screen, like a flat to the running back, and then they had like the slant curl route to kind of pick him and whatnot. So yeah, pretty much everything the Panthers did worked, which was part of the frustrating part from that game and knowing how their offense is gone. But yeah, combination of some good scheme and some bad effort.
So they got outcoached, basically. I mean, that's what I saw in this game. And you know, I know people are going to take that. Oh my God, fire AP. I know people get outcoached, man. It happens. You could tell. You could tell how they played defense. They were ready for the run game, and they were obviously ready for this damn defense. And they knew exactly where to attack and how to attack them. And yeah, that was basically the whole game. That's what it felt like. It felt like they just got completely outcoached. And seeing the defense and what they were doing, it's just ugly stuff, man. That gave me more a headache than the offense. To be honest, so I was watching that because it's like you want to see more from the defense, and watching that, you're like, oh my god, if they keep playing like that, man, hopefully this film is a damn wake up call for the defense.
Yeah. I mean, it better be. They're not beating anybody if they play defense the way they did last week. Like I said, you guys saw it. Effort wasn't there. Guys looked like they didn't know what they were doing. It was brutal.
Man, they hit the strip or something, man. Like what happened?
Maybe.
I don't know. So half those plays, like them dudes, like they were like, you know what, man, I can't hit today. So this is not. Last night was wild. I don't know.
I guess so, man. That would explain. I almost hope it's that, because then it's like, all right, well, at least you know that's a fixable issue. At least we know how to fix that part.
Like, why did Boric stop on that Levitt play? Like, what do you think is going to cut back? Like, what is? Oh, anyways, all right. So, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I sure did.
All right.
But I hope you guys did. Hope you guys enjoy this. Brutal. Hopefully next week we don't have to talk like this, and we can have, even in loss, hopefully if they just make some respectable plays on football. I try to stay positive with DJ Glaze, but it was hard. Offense, there's really nothing positive from this game to really show. So that was the hard part. There's nothing positive here at all. It is what it is. All right, guys, we're out of here, man. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. I got the passing offense up on the members. I'm probably gonna do the run offense too. I need to deep dive in that. I know people are wondering like what the hell is happening. I need to do a deep dive, so I'll do a deep dive into that. So check that out for the members watching Minshew and the passing offense. I didn't finish it because I got to like 43 minutes and I almost was throwing my own mic, so I couldn't finish it, Matt. But check it out, guys. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe, and we are out of here. Peace.